This is why the Occupied event and everything else is centered around New York. That is Rockefeller's hometown. And if you've watched my other videos, you know the relationship between Maurice Greenberg and Maurice Strong and the Rockefellers, with Project Paperclip as them being Nazi war criminals being brought over by Rockefeller Sr. This is why you see all the Greenbergs that are in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's where Maurice lives. And you see the rest of the family, the Strong side of the family, in New York. You see the actors coming together to do the Occupied event. You see all these events revolve around Pima County, the Greenbergs, the Voles, Strongs, Bloombergs, all of them are behind all of these events that we're seeing. And then you're going to see, on top of that, what the President of our United States has appointed as the council that oversees all the things that they do. Now, before I tell you who the rest of the broadcast governors are and how they all relate to this whole event, let's go back and let's talk about the JonBenet case. Since now we've exposed the mother and the father, and of course we know who JonBenet is, we've exposed her as Lady Gaga in the last video. I think you'll be surprised at this one. Now, you're going to have to really understand that this next person, they're using prosthetics on his face, but you'll still be able to see the underlying frame and structure of his head is still there, and you can tell that it's him. They're using techniques in special effects with latex, foam rubber, and they're using prosthetics that are pre-made to overlay on a face and basically secure them and make it look like it's part of his face. It's what they do in the movies all the time, and it's something that they're doing here. We notice that the underlying structure of this nose is the same. Now what they're doing is they're putting a piece on the end here to change the shape of it. Now this one not so much as what you'll see in the cheeks, but you can tell that there is something added on here. But they're also using light, and they're using the makeup as an additional means to obscure who this person is. Now when we take a look at the ears, these in particular, these are the same person, but what's been done here is this one has had prosthetic put on the outside of it. And you notice this huge lump right here. That's because they're trying to build up the cheek to come out to adapt for the prosthetic to look like it's a part of the actual face. But we notice right here, that part of the ear is still there. We notice right here the underlying structure of the helix is underneath here. See where it's blurred right here? That's because they've modified it. And we'll notice here, this is the same shape here, it's just been extended out. Now this could have either been done with Photoshop, or it could have been done with a physical prosthetic. Now it just depends on if we see a video of this, if we can match that video up to the stills, we can tell if it's been done either way. But we can understand that here's the underlying structure right here, same lobe, been pushed out because of this structure right here that's been stuck to the side of the face. So in the earlier parts of this video, we've proven the case that the JonBenet character is being played by Lady Gaga. She's also playing the part of Amy Winehouse. Now, you can see it's apparent. But now here's another funny little twist they throw in there. The individual that supposedly discovered her, her friend, whom she took her to, is none other than the character Rachel Zoe's husband that we exposed in the first video. So while we're here, let me take you on a little bit of a parallel rabbit hole and show you that Brad the person that you see as her assistant, that we exposed as also playing Bentley in the Bachelorette show, is none other than Johnny Knoxville from the TV show Jackass. Johnny Knoxville owns a production company called Dick House Productions that did the Jackass shows and several other shows. He is connected to, of course, the Jackass crew, but we see that the Jackass crew is doing more than just Jackass. Now, as you watch this story, on the surface it seems like a normal situation of a missing child. But when you look at exactly who's involved and what they're doing, it takes on a whole new meaning. The depth of deception that these individuals will go to make a profit is amazing. Now, it's not just one person making a profit. It's many different agencies, including these individuals that are actors, are profiting from this. And their profits are coming from individuals that are thinking that they're helping out in a cause to save or to find a missing child. Now, understand that in itself is a crime. It's a fraud. But just wait. It gets even better than that. These individuals are seasoned pros at this type of theft. As you're going to see, they are the same individuals that are involved in other missing children's stories that I've exposed.
He wants to find his son more than anything, but he admits it'll take time. Kane Horman warns this case could drag on for 2, 3, 4 years, and even then, it may not be resolved.
Now keep in mind exactly what he just said, because it's key. The longer that they can prolong these events, the more money that they can pull in by the nonprofits that they set up, and also the more money that they can steal from the individuals of the taxpayers that are involved in these areas of the events, in the form of the sheriff's got to be paid, the law enforcement have to be paid, and more importantly, like within the Holly Bobo incident, the Fusion Center is what they were looking to try to fund by way of Homeland Security grants. And in order to get those grants, they have to show a reason for their existence. That's why you didn't see the FBI trying to find the individual. You saw the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, which is the Fusion Center. Another recurring thing that I see over and over again with these fake events is the fact that it's always the sheriffs that are the front men to the investigations. It's never the local law enforcement or the FBI or any other agency. It's always going to be the local sheriffs of that, whatever that jurisdiction is. And I don't know if you remember or not, but about 1.5 years ago there was this mass retirement or mass replacement of each of the sheriffs in all the major cities across the United States. And that story was sort of kept under the, brushed under the rug by mainstream media, which of course to me is a sign that there's definitely something to it. Other than, you know, Sheriff Dupnick, who has been in here since in 50 years, he says. And of course, well, Sheriff Dupnick has the ties to Homeland Security because Janet Napolitano, of course, was the governor of that state and the attorney general of that state.
After his son disappeared, Kane Horman quickly realized he wasn't alone. Thousands of friends, neighbors, complete strangers shared his agony.
We will never stop looking for you, Kyron. You will be home soon, sending warm prayers and lots of love to the family.
Over the past year, hundreds of well-wishers helped fill the wall of hope. No one is giving up on Kyron Horman.
It's kind of a living, breathing thing, just like he is. It is going to continue to grow, and things about it are going to change.
Not if I have anything to do about it. See, the father that you see here, that you have all the emotions now built up to find his son, is not who he says he is. We'll get into him in a moment.
But as others return to their normal lives, Kane Horman remains stuck in an endless nightmare.
He's with me every single day. These are all pretty cool.
Kane admits there is no routine anymore. He's a single father with a busy job at Intel. He's got bills.
It's kind of a longer one, but it
does the shopping and runs errands.
Keep a strong heart and Godspeed you home safely.
All while searching for his son, and he's surrounded by memories.
Time kind of moves on, and you have to adjust.
Kane relies on a close group of friends for support. Some days are tougher than others, but nothing's been harder than Christmas.
But just having an empty house for the first time, pretty much.
You see, Mr. Kane here is a liar. He's actually one of the Jackass crew. This is Dave England. Dave is one of the original members of Jackass. He's also the publisher and the founder of the snowboarding magazine called Skin Tight, and he is a professional snowboarder. This is him and his son. Does he look familiar? So let's see, that's $25,000 reward for this one, $100,000 reward for the Holly Bobo, and another $25,000 reward for the ATM murders out in LA. So if any law firm would like to take on collecting this from these individuals, let me know. I would like to set up the money if anything was recovered after legal fees are paid for as a grant and give the money back to the individuals or the people of the state, the particular state that the money was taken from. And I would definitely like to pursue that vigorously, so please contact me. So you ever wonder why this country's in basically the position that it's in, when you have adults of this country acting like fools, and then of course teaching this fraudulent and criminal act to their children, who of course follow in their parents' footsteps. So we see this over and over again, and I'm sure we'll see it over and over in the future unless we put an end to it and hold these people accountable for their actions.
Analogy about driving this into the ditch. This investigation has been in the ditch for some time now. The Sylvia Island searches was basically a PR gig in order to get $200-something in overtime, which worked, by the way.
And these are the searches of Sauvie Island, which Bruce is referring to. He's very critical of this investigation.
Now, Dave isn't the only actor involved in this crime. There's other actors from the Pima County area, too, that are taking place and doing their same old song and dance, what they usually do. And this individual you might know from another event.
I think that some of the stuff probably hasn't been handled in.
The right thing to do for our investigators.
They want to hear from parents, children, teachers, volunteers, delivery people, anyone who was at the school that day between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Tears me up inside. I don't know what I'd do if I lost one of my kids.
And this is another Jackass cast member. This is Loomis Fall.
Well,
and again we see Loomis in occupied Brisbane, just like the other person that took part in the fictitious events that we see here in the United States. Now on top of that, Loomis is actually Tony Greenberg. Now I know you might be saying, oh, this is a bunch of bullshit, right? I'll believe it when they bring Wee Man out and show us Wee Man involved in one of these fictitious events then, right? Decked out in his nice disguise, even missing the two front teeth, but we can still see it's Wee Man. I'll get into this shot later on in another video, but it's a gratuitous shot just to give everyone a cameo. As you see, there's Kenny Bloomberg in the background in the camo jacket, in the BDU jacket, and in front of him, Chris Pontius, who's the party boy right here in the yellow jacket. So Chris is the one down at the Jefferson Memorial with Adam Kokesh, the one where they all got arrested for supposedly for dancing. Yeah, right.